Why play Smolder Bot? Well, he scales into a late game beast. He deals tons of AoE damage, he's a very safe laner, and he's fun to play being an ADC and spellcaster. However, he does need time to scale into the late game, and he can be squishy, especially if his E gets interrupted. Smolder's passive is he gains a stack every time he hits an enemy with an ability, or when his Q last hits a minion or monster. All of his abilities deal additional damage the more stacks he has. Smolder's Q is a point and click ability which deals damage to the target hit and applies on-hit effects. When Smolder has 25 stacks of his passive, this will also deal damage in a circle around the target. At 125 stacks, it also starts firing additional fireballs in a cone behind the target, and at 225 stacks, enemies hit are set on fire, taking true damage and get executed if they go too low on health. Smolder's W is a long-range rectangular skill shot which starts travelling fast and then slows down towards the end. Enemies hit are dealt damage and slowed, and hitting an enemy champion deals damage to all enemies in a nearby circle. Smolder's E causes him to take flight and gain a large burst of movement speed. While in flight, he can move over terrain and starts firing bolts at nearby enemies. Smolder's ultimate is a very long-range rectangular skill shot which deals damage in a wave along the ability. It grants sight of the area and enemies hit are dealt damage, and if they're in the center of the ability, they take more damage and are slowed. If Smolder's hit by this ability, he's also healed. For combos, start auto attack into Q, then auto attack into W, then auto attack into chasing them down with E. And if you have ultimate, you can start this combo with an auto attack into ult, then the auto into Q, auto into W, and auto into E. For matchups, Smolder is great into more passive laners who he will have time to scale against, and he can struggle against aggressive laners who will bully him early. For runes, take this. PTA gives you great single target damage and greatly helps your early game. For build orders, start Blade and Pot into an Essence Reaver and tier 2 boots. After this, Quick Blades are a great pickup before finishing your build with any of these as needed. For skill orders, start Q then W then E before maxing Q then W then E, taking ult whenever you can. For summoner spells, take Flash and Heal. Starting the game, you're looking to scale into a late game beast, and you can do this both through farming hard and stacking your passive. When looking to stack your passive, you want to rush your first 25 stacks as fast as possible, and the easiest way to do this is by using Q on your opponents when you can, but mostly by last hitting minions with your Q. When you have these first 25 stacks, your Q will now hit in a circle. This allows you to prep multiple minions at the same time down to low health to finish them all off with a single Q, granting you multiple stacks. Otherwise, you're going to look for opportunities to take good trades with your opponent, and your short trades are actually really good. An auto attack into Q followed by an auto attack into W and an auto into E will proc PTA and deal a chunk of damage, as well as getting you multiple stacks of your passive. And from here you can retreat with your E or chase them down as needed. Entering the mid game, you want to take your tower as soon as possible and then rotate mid with your support. This puts two strong champions in the center of the map, allowing you to siege and easily rotate to skirmishes and objectives. Entering late game teamfights, you want to play the backline hyper carry. At this point in the game, with a well stacked passive, you will deal insane amounts of AoE damage. So attack anything in front of you and spam out your AoE abilities. Use E to keep yourself safe, especially if you stay near terrain that you can fly over.